Perfect. We got close-ups and everything.
Ready to go. Wow. This is Mike Ramos.
ChasDre.
We're coming in on the Your Car Dealer podcast. This is our segment that we concentrate on the mindset of a champion. We're giving it all to you guys this week. This is
we need to write down what I wrote on the because I don't have.
Now we got the importance of follow through. That we're going to be talking about this week. We're also talking about fear and how it affects your business.
Mm-hmm.
We're also talking about the idea of the week. Now that's till the end. You guys got to stay till the end. You guys got to get the idea of the week. And this is good. You guys are gonna love this.
Hey Claudia, how you doing?
Hey.
So we want to talk about the importance of follow through and how you change the world by your example, not your opinion. I have some pretty good experience with people talking a lot and not really doing much. And I want to stress on the importance of actions. Now, I talk a lot. I got a lot to say, but it's all about positive things. But my actions are more powerful than anything that I say. How I treat people, how I talk to people, how I commit to what I say I'm going to do. All of these things go into my character and my DNA, my desire to naturally achieve. So I really want to stress how important it is for you as a business owner, in a business, with a job, whatever it is that you hustle, whatever it is you're doing, talking about it means nothing. And one thing that I really found to be important is it's always the people that talk about themselves. I don't really pay too much attention to them. I always like when people talk about you, not you talk about yourself, because that's when you know it's real. Because you're supposed to think highly of yourself and you're supposed to say all of these wonderful things about yourself. But in actuality, what happens is if you're the only one saying it, it's probably not really. You're living in a different reality zone because your actions don't say the same thing. So it's important for you to understand that when you say something and you don't do it, then you're hindering your empire that you're trying to build. And everyone should be trying to build their own empire in their lives. And you're either doing one of two things. You're either building it or you're tearing it down. So you got to think of what you're doing in accordance to what your goals are. And the only thing that I can think of is meaning what you say and saying what you mean, because the real influencers, the real people that make a difference aren't the people who talk about it, but it's the people that are actually doing it. That's really, really what I'm getting from my experience in life. They have what's called now a peer specialist. And a peer specialist, they're saying you don't need to have the degrees that the sociology, psychology, and all of these, that your experience is actually giving you a higher degree of understanding and expertise in anything that you do, rather than the degree. So what that means basically is that my experiences and everything that I've been through and everything that I've seen, and you too, you in life, you guys out there in the dealerships, the salesmen, the dealer owners, the people that are doing it, your experience to me is more important than someone that goes and learns about whatever it is that you're doing. So based on that, like I said, it's very important that you understand that you have to mean what you say, because the only way that you're going to make a difference in this world is by doing what you say, not talking about it. And let other people talk about you. Trust me on this, because when I hear people start saying how great I am and I'm this and I'm that and I'm all of that, I immediately turn off. I don't know about you, Mike, but me, I don't. You know what I mean? I don't get that out of it.
I got the exact. It's funny because just yesterday, some of you car dealers that are out there that got a bond, every year that bond expires, and the rule, and these companies are starting to follow the rule, is that they have to send notice of cancellation to the Department of Motor Vehicles at least 30 days before that bond expires.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got one company that religiously does this. Actually, two of them. Religiously, they do it every time. They've told me they were going to do it, and they do it. right? They said before we had conversations about what they were going to accomplish, and they weren't going to go off the track. And then I got another company that said, we'll do that, but they never do it. And every single one of these damn things, I'm sitting there looking for this notice that's supposed to be in our file, and every damn one of them, I was just doing this last night, every fucking one of these that's coming up doesn't have this notice because this one damn company who doesn't follow through and doesn't understand that there's a disconnect between what they say and what they do. And now, for some reason now, certain things I kind of, when they say it, it's a coin toss. Sometimes it's right. Most times I'm sitting there looking like, let me think about this. Not real positive on it just yet. I got to do my due diligence. But this other company, if they tell me something, I believe it.
Right.
They already set that precedence. Makes
a huge difference when you build your reputation based on your actions. And a good example, I mean, I run into a lot of people, that same thing that you deal with that, like with businesses. If you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, then you build a reputation of when you talk, people don't listen. People don't want to, like, oh, or who's talking? Oh, nah, I don't pay attention. You don't want to have people having that image of you in anything, in your personal, in your business, and whatever it is that you do. If you say something, the only thing that separates us from anything is our word. That's what separates one man from the next. If one man does what he says and the other man doesn't do what he says, then 1,000 times out of 1,000, people are going to pay attention to the man that does what he says. Unless the people that are listening are like the person that doesn't do what he says. Then, well, they can go on all in their own bowl of bullshit and do whatever they do. But most of the people, all of the people that I know that mean what they say and say what they mean and do exactly what they say every time, they don't make time for people who don't. Like, just don't. And then I noticed that I don't have a lot of time for people that don't do that. And I know people that do it. Like, I'll literally cut them off, block them, not talk to them anymore, and they'll find ways to get back to me. Exactly. And they'll find ways to get back to me to do the same thing again. And it's like the universe is testing you. The universe is testing to see if you're still stupid enough to go back and deal with them again. Are you going to listen? Are you going to pay attention? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, to me, this attribute of leading by example is so important in what and it's one of the biggest problems that we have in society and in business and in dealerships, everything today. The reason people hate going to dealerships is because they're full of shit. Simple as that. Exactly. Full of shit. They know they're going to go in there, sit there for 6-7 hours. They're going to hem and haw. They're going to run to the back. They're going to play with the numbers so they make more money. Not tell you the real shit. Like, all this stuff, this fear. Now, what happens when you go into a dealership, right? And everybody's on the same page. Everybody does what they say. Everybody goes to bat for you. What happens? It's like a wonderful experience. When's the last time you went into a dealership where that happened?
Yeah,
don't worry, I'll wait.
Not very often.
You know what I'm saying? Because I understand it's about the sale. And I'm all about sales. Trust me on this. I'm big on sales. Because that's how I make my money, by selling. Well, let me explain something to you about selling and the customers that I get. Now, even if I'm a car salesman, I use this in any industry. Yeah, I might not be the number one salesman. No, my numbers might not be at the top. But the way that I deal with people, it may not be conventional. I may take a little longer with customers just to get to know them and hang out with them. I may be a little bit more personable. But I'll tell you one thing that those customers that I do have will do, they'll stay with me for the rest of their lives or mine. Because I do exactly what I say I'm going to do. I don't deviate from the process. I don't do anything else. I do exactly what I say, and that's the importance of follow through. That is the importance of following through with what you say. And so many people, especially today with all the technology, it's so easy to say, oh, I got an emergency, this happened, I got to do this, or I can't make it. I've gotten to the point where it's really not about the sale anymore. It's about the integrity of the person that I'm dealing with. I don't care if you want to give me the money. I had somebody tell me, cancel 2 meetings with me. Now, in the past week, I've had 6 or 7 meetings that were canceled, which is understandable. Things happen. I get that, which means I have a lot of meetings, right? So I'm blessed. I'm happy. But there's a certain etiquette that I expect simply because I consider you when I set something up to meet with you. It's a consideration. I'm considering you being important, and nothing outside of an act of God is going to change that path that I'm on because I set it with you. Now, here's what I see from other people. Well, I got this, and I got this, and my dog, and the dentist, and my car, and my feet, my back hurt, my head hurt. I had one person set up a meeting, didn't call, didn't text. I ain't heard from them. That was last week. Still haven't heard from them. That was probably my fault because it's happened before with the same person. So, you're fired. Exactly. What I can't handle not being the same priority that you are to me. Whether you're a stranger, whether I know you, whatever. If I set up a time to sit with you, I can't get that time back. It's my time I'm giving to you, so I appreciate the same respect in return. It's very important for you to mean what you say and say what you mean. I mean, that's my thought on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's real clear. There's no big surprise. There's no big secret. You fuckers have to have integrity out there. If you guys don't have it, we can't give it to you.
Right.
You know, it just is what it is. This might even be a little bit where a lot of these guys out there that are doing the right stuff are saying, yeah, what do you think? No shit. This is, of course, the way it works. Of course you've got to follow through if you're going to be successful. Of course, if I tell this girl, if you're in the stage of life where you're chasing girls, if I tell her I'm going to call her, chances are you probably should call her. If you're trying to chase deals and sales, you should probably follow up when you tell them you're going to call them tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That was one of the very first things. Brian Weaver, holy shit, if you're out there listening, Jesus, Brian, love you. One of the things that he told me, the vice president of sales and marketing for a huge insurance company for 25 years, this guy told me, number one thing, the very first thing he told me is never go anywhere without enough business cards. The second thing he told me is no matter what, follow through. No matter what you say to them. No matter, even if you just look like you're trying to follow through, but you actually didn't get it, no matter what, do whatever you have to do to follow through, and if you can't follow through, to make it look like you follow through. That's the number one thing that he really in his mind. And he was the vice president over several dozen sales managers all across the country for a huge insurance company. So this is not small peanuts type of guy. That was the very first thing besides bring a bunch of business cards that he told me. And to both of those, I was thinking, because I thought, well, of course, if I tell them I'm going to call them. But I didn't realize that once you get super busy and you tell 6 people you're going to call them that day, well, you better have made sure that you have enough time to do all of those things. Even if it's, hey, how are you? Listen, we can't talk today because I've got tied up in other stuff. But I told you I was going to call today, so I called today. Can we talk tomorrow? Is that cool? No, not good tomorrow? Well, then, shit, I'm going to blow somebody else off. Let's talk right now, then, damn it, let's do it. And that was, we had to do, and other people were like, holy shit, I'm so glad you called. I was going to tell you if we could blow this off till tomorrow. Now you got a win-win. But that was constantly his move was, did you follow through? Did you actually do this shit? And if you didn't do it, you weren't, if you were out there not leaving messages when you were supposed to have let, his other theory was, if you don't leave the message when you call, you didn't actually call. Mm-hmm. So, whatever it is, you got to be able to follow through, guys. It's really important. It's really one of those things that I think is pretty elementary. I'm hoping that you guys, we don't have to beat this thing to a pulp. One of the other topics that we had on our docket was fear and how it affects a used car dealer, how it affects your wholesale dealership, how it affects your retail dealership, how it affects your business in general. And trust me, fear's not always a bad thing. In a lot of cases, I remember one really successful insurance agent asking me one day, do you do what you do out of fear or love? And at the time, I was the executive vice president of an insurance company. I'm thinking, I love doing what I'm doing. I also, every day, have a healthy fear of the results are going to come tumbling down, so I got to keep working hard to keep this up. I feel like there's a musical chairs almost going around, and I've got to consistently make sure that I'm staying ahead of the game and working hard enough to make sure that I don't succumb to the idea of we're already far enough ahead. We've already run up the score far enough. I don't want to take it easy. I don't want to go into prevent defense. I've seen so many teams run up a first half lead, blow it in the second because they started playing prevent defense. I want to keep the pressure on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to keep it hot. If we're blowing them up by 20 at halftime, I want to blow them up by 40 or more at the end of the game. I'm not trying to lay off of it and let them start to come back into the game. But that's what a healthy dose of fear did for me. Was I always was very fearful of what could happen if this all comes crumbling down. What does happen if I don't execute? And so I constantly was operating in that mode of I got to keep running faster and faster and faster. Not necessarily like I'm terrified of what's going to happen, but just I had what I thought and what I still think might be a healthy dose of fear, but it also goes the other way. Because the second you introduce fear into something, let's call it you're going to buy a house. Trey's going to buy a house. He's going to buy it in Beverly Hills, let's say, or someplace down in the LA area. He's going to buy a beautiful house, and they tell him there could be mold damage. There could be a termite issue. You just introduced some fear into his mind that now kind of fucks around with the valuation. Oh, you wanted $1 million, you wanted $900,000 for that? We could have structure damage.
Mm-hmm.
I got a fear of the structure damage and what it could cost me. I might not find this out in the next 2 months or 6 months, but I might find out in the next 6 years that I got to redo this whole mother. That introduction of fear is the same thing that the stock market. Mm-hmm. You introduce fear in that fucking stock market, and you see that.
Oh yeah.
You'll see that shit tank overnight.
Yep.
Business was booming a minute ago, and now all of a sudden these things have never dropped faster. Right? You introduce a little fear into the hearts of the players. You've changed the whole evaluation.
I think fear, like it says on the podcast, what we're doing is how is fear affecting your business, for better or for worse. I think fear is healthy. I think it should drive you. But what it does is usually the opposite for most people. It hinders their progress. And fear, I think, is healthy because it keeps you nervous. It keeps you aware. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you evaluating the circumstances all the time. So if you don't have fear, which if we go to meaning what you say, if you're not fearful of the consequences of what could happen by not doing what you say, then you're not going to realize the consequences. Is usually it's in hindsight,
right?
And that's what that happens. So the lack of fear can be worse than being fearful, and actually a lot of times is, because people that don't have fear, if you think about it, when you're young, you have no fear. You think you can do anything, but then you get shot, busted up, accidents, car accidents, drinking and drive, all of these things that we have no fear of when we're young. Experience brings us to the point where we might need to think and evaluate and be a little nervous, be a little bit more on our toes. I remember when I was young, drinking and driving wasn't that major of a thing, so I remember drinking while I'm on the freeway, rolling and driving 90 miles an hour, me and my brothers and all of that kind of stuff. Well, guess what? As I got older and started seeing more and more stupidity, stuff like that, which is dumb, I started fearing doing stuff. I started fearing just drinking in general. Like, I'm like, I don't even want to go outside if I drink. I'm drinking home. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't even want to go outside because there's so many more people and there's so much more dum-dums out there just doing stupid shit, just being, fearless. And I don't think there's a problem with being fearless in certain things, but I think that if we're honest with ourselves, we need to have a certain amount of fear when we're doing anything, because And I think every entrepreneur is afraid to make that jump. But I know who was it? Steve Harvey was saying every successful person in the world has jumped. It's not about the jump or whether you learn to fly when you jump or whether you hit the ground. It's about jumping, hitting the ground, and being willing to face that fear, do it anyway. Fall, smack dab on your face, get up, climb that mountain, and jump again. That's what fear is. False events appearing real. Yeah, you might fall. Shoot, you fell when you started learning how to walk too. But you didn't have you didn't have that fear of not thinking that you would ever be able to do it. So I think in that instance, I think instances that you should have fear and instances you shouldn't, because there's a certain amount of risk in everything, and that risk that you're taking is where the fear comes in. Should I do this? Should I not? In our marketing, in marketing in general, social media marketing, there's fear because so many people have put money in $1,000 here, $5,000 here, $12,000. I know I got a potential a meeting yesterday with a guy, and he was like, yeah, we paid somebody for the whole year for marketing. They've done nothing. So now guess what? Now when they run into me, they're like skeptical and fearful. Is he going to tell us the same shit that other dude took our money and didn't do anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he going to do that? But because we're so transparent and we market with the mindset of a champion, and we tell you your results before you spend money, it makes it a lot easier. We are erasing that fear. Now our value now goes up. So the bigger the problem that you solve, the more money you make, the more value you create. So by being able to tell potential clients, oh, okay, so you're a dealership, and if you spend $5,000 a month, you're going to get 30 new leads of people actually wanting to buy a car, that are looking for a car, looking for the right place to get a car. I know that you're going to get between 30 and 50 leads every month by spending this amount. Rather than, okay, you got to spend $2,500 for me to build it, and then we got to put $1,000 in Facebook, see if that works, $1,000 in YouTube, this, that. Now your fear is like, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, that's what we got to test it out. We got to test it and see. We got to look at the data after we put the thousands in YouTube, 1,000 in Google, 1,000 in Facebook, 1,000 in Instagram. And now marketing has this tainted reputation that they're just going to take your money and throw your stuff out there and see what happens, see what sticks. But like I said last week or the week before when I was talking about marketing, 95% of the people on the internet are just looking around and hanging out. There's only 5% that are actually looking for your product. So, because we're able to concentrate on only those 5%, it changes our results and what we're capable of doing. So it's not, for me, it's not about taking your money. It's not about causing you to be fearful. I want you to be excited. I had a guy come in and I talked him out of buying the campaign package that I had because I didn't think it would work very well for his industry. It was life insurance. Right. And by the time I was done explaining to him the quality of leads, even though there were going to be a minimal amount, he was like, here's a check. I've got a check right now. Let's go. When can we start? Can we start right now? Can we go? I was like, holy shit. I just told you 75 times you shouldn't do it. And they still, it's because the fear is now going, because he knows the results. He knows the results beforehand. If this is what I'm going to get, I'm in. And they're better leads than I got before. So now that fear so much isn't there. Now the value went up. Because just like everyone, they've dealt with other companies that do marketing. They've taken their money and I can't guarantee anything. We can't guarantee you're going to get 30 leads. We're saying based on our statistic and our data that we already have, that's going to take you a year to learn doing it manually. These are going to be your results over a 12-month period. Take it or leave it. And I tell people, take it or leave it. I don't care what you do. Because if I get somebody else in your industry, like your next door dealership, I'm not going to take you because they're going to kill it. So now I'm changing the infrastructure of the way that sales should be done. I don't chase people anymore. And I tell my people I work with that hire me to counsel, I don't. Like, Grant Cardone is big on chasing sales. Sell. Sell or be sold. You're always selling. ABCs, always be closing. All of that shit. I don't have that personality. I want to always be getting to know you. I want to always be building with you. I want your business success to be my success. I want to feel like when I help you, my business just blew up. It's not just about sales all the time for me. And I know that's hard for a lot of people that are in sales because that's all it's about. If I don't sell this, I'm not going to be able to eat. I get that. But if you build a long-lasting relationship, if you build a foundation with that person, that client that you call a client, and now you calling them by their name and you know their kids, you know where they live, you hanging out with them in events and stuff like that, well, now that changes because now every person that they know that's looking for a car, guess who they're telling them about? You. They're not going to tell, nope, don't go to nobody else. This is how people, my clients, think of me. Oh, no, just talk to Andre. Don't go to, don't talk to that. Just go, trust me. Because your word is so important. And people don't realize how important it is until they start sticking to their word and they see the difference in the way that people react to you and people look at you. I got a quick story I'll tell you about. I don't know if I told this before, but when I first started working in an internet company, and I've always been like this, mean what you say and say what you mean type of dude. That's just it. I don't put up with it. If you say something and you don't do it, I'm going to step back. Subconsciously, I can't handle it because that means I can't believe you and I can't trust you. Discipline, trust, and loyalty. Those are the three things you need to be successful in anything in life. And if you don't have trust, if you don't say what you mean and mean what you say, then you're full of shit. And I don't have time for that. And most people put up with it because everyone does it. I don't do that. I can't do that. I won't do that. So I'm in a job, and I worked there 2 weeks. They call me into the executive meeting. All the executives, the owner, the VP, and all of them, they're in there. And I'm like, oh, shit, what did I do? They're like, Charles, my first name is Charles. ChasDre, as you see. So Chaz said, Charles, come here. I'm like, what's up? What'd I do? Shit. How'd I mess up? I didn't mean it. I'm already coming up with my excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm coming up with some stuff like, I don't know what. I know there's a reason they're calling me, and whatever it is, I'm going to have a good reason why it happened that way because I know how I am. I'm going to know it before they say. So I'm already thinking, and there's nothing I could think of that I did wrong yet. I'm like, what the hell do these people want from me? I'm a black man, they going to fire me? Like, I'm just kidding. But I'm thinking all these things running through my head. What did I do? What did I do? And they're like, so Charles, I'm hearing good things about you. So vice president told me, I'm like, good things? Okay. This is going well. So I'm excited. I'm like, okay, that's a good start. Yeah. So I'm thinking, what do you think? You think you'd be able to find 3 people like you? I'm like, what? Oh, yeah. If you can find 3 people like you, we'll give you $10,000. I was like, 10,000? Like, I'm 26. So I ain't never had $10,000 legally before. You know, I'm from the hood. I don't know nothing about getting money, especially from white people. These was white people giving me $10,000. I worked there 2 weeks. I was like, yeah, let me think about it. So I thought about it because I'm not going to say I can do it if I can't do it, right? Don't make sense. You can't do that. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. They said, can you do it in a week? I'm like, oh, hold on. Let me think about it. Wait a minute. Yeah, I can do it in a week. I can do it. Yeah, no problem. So I already got the people. Then they said you have to get somebody from our competition where you worked at before here. I was like, oh, hell, you want me to go back to my old job, find somebody, make them quit there, come here.
Right.
Oh, y'all gonna make me work for this 10 G's. I was like, okay, yeah. I was like iffy on it because there's fear. Like, they want to give me 10,000. I gotta go get this 10,000. And I'm like, how am I gonna do it? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just do whatever it takes. So I said, yes, absolutely. With surety, like I always am. Yes, I'll do it. No problem. I got you in a week. So I figure after that week, I'll get paid on my payday like normal. And then Vince, he was the vice president. He said, are you sure? I said, yeah. I'll get it. No problem. I got you. He says, okay. So he calls up human resources and says, hey, cut Charles a check for $10,000 right now. Now, my point of that is that he only said that because in the 2 weeks that he'd known me, I was the only person in the entire company of the 150 people that did exactly what I said and some every single time I did it. I was the only person I was the newest one there out of all the people that they called into that office and asked to do that. Now, do you think I got the 3 people? You goddamn right I got the 3 people. Hell yeah, I had the best Christmas of my life with my kids, everything. It was beautiful. But that's what I'm talking about. You never know. You can't connect the dots before. You can only connect them looking in the past. I didn't know that by me doing all of that, that would happen. Had no idea. I was just being a man of my word, being a man. And I didn't let fear, I didn't let anything hinder me from saying, and if I couldn't do something, I said, no, I can't do that. I don't know how to do it. I'll learn it. I don't know how long it'll take. But I would always be up front. And you don't know how important that is to people that are doing business and are trying to run a company or run their personal life or run anything. When you have plans, like I had a meeting today. Second time, somebody canceled. And they're like, oh, I got to go do this. I got to go do that. And I got to do this. And I'm like, okay, well, that means that you just wasted that time slot because I have people that are trying to get in that slot. So I planned that with you a week ago. You're calling me 3 hours before saying, oh, I got to go do this. That to me tells me that you don't value my time or me as a person. That's what that's telling me. Whatever you have going on, and this is the second time they did it 2 times in a row. Something came up, so I'm like, they're like, well, can I just come and and I'm like, no, it's not really that important anymore to me. Simply because I'm not that important to you. My time is valuable. So if I make time for you, that means I value you. If you don't value me the same way, then nothing. It's never ever gonna work. And I earn that value. By you canceling, that means you're unearning value. You're going the opposite direction. And everybody has this such high accolades for what I do and how I do it, when you can do the same thing by simply doing what you say you're going to do. And it drives me nuts when I see that, because it happens so often. It happens in every sales team I've seen are pretty much full of shit. They'll tell you anything they can to get you to spend your money on bullshit. And I'm not like I can. If I believe in something, I that's the only way that I can sell it. Because ultimately, I'm not selling it because I think it's something that you should buy. I'm selling it because it works for me. Because I believe in it. Because I do it myself. I'm not going to tell, even if it's something that's bad that I'm doing, I'm like, well, I tried it, it worked for me, and I stopped. After a while, it didn't work out. But all my clients can live with that. Because they're like, well, you went through the same thing as me, and you believed it just like I did, and they tricked all of us, or whatever the hell's going on. But ultimately, you want to be, as much as you can, and I know it's hard in sales because you live by this. You're living off of your sales, your income. But I'm telling you, just based on my knowledge and what I know, my way of building a foundation and building my pipeline and following up and staying in touch and staying on top of things, that to me is so much more stress-free than living up to someone's quota. And what I've learned is that doing that is actually, it does make me the number one salesman. It does make me my numbers are better than everyone else in the whole industry. Like the company that I'm partnered with, my engineer came to me and said, based on what you're doing just in 1 month, your numbers are better than everyone in the whole company. I'm not even part of the company. I'm selling more of their product than anyone in their company. And he has people calling him saying, how are you doing this? How are you getting so many people to come do this? Like, I can't get anybody to buy this. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. And for me, it's just really understanding my product, understanding how to explain it in layman's terms so you can understand it, and then wanting to build a foundation with you so that we can understand each other and work together. And at the same time, I'm not going to do business with you if I don't like you. And I don't want you to do business with me if you don't like me. Like, it's not, to me, it's never really about the money. The money is a tool, right? So it's always about the money. But that's not the money is just part of it. Like the product, right? You have a product, you have money, you have food, you have a house. All of those things go together. They're just things that you need to do. So my priority isn't that. It's on the relationships. It's on me. It's on building that foundation. If I was a car salesman, every single person that came in would never, ever, ever forget me, even if I didn't get the sale. They would hear me talking. They would hear me laughing. They would hear me smiling. They would hear me making other people feel good. They would hear me helping people with things that I wasn't supposed to be helping them with. Like, they would hear so much greatness from the energy just coming from my area. They would always come back. That's what you gotta influence your energy. You gotta build that vibration that you have on positivity and greatness and integrity and character and trust and loyalty and discipline. And nobody has these anymore. Like, this whole, I'm not gonna like pick up the phone, I'm not gonna call you, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna follow up, I'm not gonna go talk to my customers because I already sold them, I already did. I've got customers that won't even deal with me simply because they dealt with someone else from the company, the same company on the other side of the company, that just wanted to sell. They wanted to know who they were. They didn't want to know nothing about them. I had a girl from the same company that I partner with try to sell me 2 years ago. She didn't talk to me, find out nothing about me. She came and sat there, put all her stuff in front of me, and like, this is I do here, and here. So when you ready to get started? I'm like, bitch, I don't know you. The fuck? Like, I was irritated. I'm like, what's my name? What's my phone? What do I do? Where am I from? How many kids do I have? Because all of those things are important to me. So if you don't show how much you care about somebody, if you're not willing to go out there and really build a relationship with these people, if you just want to sell them and throw them in the back, oh, that's done, I gotta go. That's done, I gotta go. That's done, and they never hear from you again, then I don't really know what that's called. Because to me, it's not I guess it's a salesperson, a sales idiot. That's what I see. I think that's more like sales stupidity. Because now you're going to piss off a lot of people. All the clients that you get, you're going to piss them off. Because you're not doing what you say. Things are broke. Things ain't working. You're not calling them. You're pushing them off to somebody else because you already made your money. Now it's on to the next one. Residual income, multiple streams of income is very important. I didn't mean to go on that tangent, but sometimes I feel it. I feel good about it, so I got to talk about it.
Yeah, no, that's that leads into the question of the week, which is how is fear affecting your business, either for better or for worse? I think it's a question that's worth everybody asking themselves out there: is how is this really affecting you, and is it positive? Is it negative? Can you turn the negative into a positive? It just seems like there's that one element, and you need it, because I've seen in several different aspects of life the guy who doesn't have the healthy dose of fear, who just walks into the auction and buys one too many cars because he doesn't realize that he should have a fear of not selling them fast enough. Mm-hmm. And he might not have the infrastructure yet to be able to sell them, but he doesn't know it because he might be just a little too cocky. Mm-hmm. And that fear is not really causing him, he doesn't have enough of it to really dissect, should I do this? He walks in a little bit too gung-ho. The guy that walks in a little bit too gung-ho to a wrestling match or a football game, whatever it is, that guy, I've seen that guy get mopped up before by somebody who's not as good, because mentally he had no fear that this guy could do anything to him. When Mike Tyson got knocked out by Buster Douglas, he had no fear that he could do anything to him. They didn't even have an end swell over there in his corner. They had no capabilities at all of providing any kind of medical attention to him, because they figured Mike's not going to get hit. Mike's fighting this sloppy guy, Buster Douglas. We're going to knock him out in the first round and go home and party. Mm-hmm. Well, little did they, there was no fear. There was zero fear. He just went out there. He'd been partying the night before. He hadn't been training. What happened? Buster Douglas came and knocked him out. Made him look silly. Ruined his whole career. Why did this happen? No fear. So for better or for worse, it's there. You can't block it out. You got to roll with it. You got to harness it. Use it for what it's worth. It's a good thing.
A healthy dose of fear is...
It's all healthy. It's all a healthy thing. I some of the kids that I coached over the years, I told them the same thing. That fear that you have inside you right now, yeah, I'm feeling it. You know that feeling? Yeah. Don't try to push it out. Suck it in.
Embrace it.
Go with it.
Yeah,
go with it.
that.
You're alive. You're not going to feel this in other aspects of life. That thing that you're afraid of, go run towards it. See what happens. Mm-hmm. You guys are terrified to get on that mat right now with this guy. And sometimes it worked out where they went out, they faced the fear, and after they got off the mat, they were like, oh my God. Some of the best matches that I saw this year out of our kids that I coached, That's exactly what happened. They actually lost. Some of them got pinned, which is the worst way that you could lose, technically. And it didn't matter because the way that they went out with honor and the way that they conquered that fear within themselves, they'll always be able to look back and put that in the bank account that they'll be able to withdraw from anytime in the future. That'll always be there, and I constantly tell them, this will be something that you guys can withdraw from in the future. So in your businesses, once you get past certain fears at your dealership, going and getting into certain things that might be terrifying. But as you get involved in some of these things, after you've done your due diligence, and once you get involved in them, once you kind of get over that fear, you might see yourself get to another level. Your own fear might be prohibiting you from leveling up. That's real, because I've seen that happen, because this kid doesn't want to go to, or this business owner doesn't want to go and do anything different that he's never done. Well, how's he going to get a result he's never had? I don't know. Now he's asking for too much from the universe just to hand to him. I mean, shit. If you're not willing to do something you've never done, don't ask for something you've never had. It's just not going to work out that way. And if you're too scared to actually go do it, for some reason, and for some people it's marketing. For some people it's in investing in a website. To some people it's investing in another body to help. Trust me, this is a fear that we're going through right now, because we've got to hire on this new body around here to help. Is that going to take away from some of the cash flow? Sure it is. But I'm betting that I can turn around and reinvest that time and make more over here than I would by having to do these tasks that I'm going to have this person do. That's the bet I'm making. And I'm betting really on our own team, on myself, on our team. Those are the bets that I'm having to make. But there is a fear that I've got to get over. How? Why? To level up. There's no way we get to the next level without kind of taking this next step. We've been hovering around 800,000, 900,000 in revenue a year. How do we get to 1 million? How do we get to past 1 million? You got to kind of change your thinking sometimes too. You got to, kind of jump out of that comfort zone. Nobody on the podcast can see this, but I'm going to tell them it's a Happy Pocket Full of Money. This is my resource of the week for you guys. Happy Pocket Full of Money by David Cameron Giocondi. There it is. Shit, this is backwards on that shit, but you guys can see it. A Happy Pocket Full of Money. Don't play games. You guys see that shit. Happy Pocket Full of Money. Shit, you're not gonna be able to find it on
Audible.
Audible. I already checked.
Me too.
Yeah, it ain't there. You might have to get it if you're not already reading 3-4 books or even 1 or 2.
Yeah, like
that might be the one that you guys really should look at. I'm on. You guys keep on hearing me talk about Allison. Allison she's really on top of her shit. She's helping us get to the next level. And it took a leap of faith for me to bring her on board to do what she's doing. But that's something that she had said, you know what, your life's going to completely change the second you read this book. I wish I would have some kind of involvement in peddling this fucking book, because everybody I'm talking to, I'm telling the same thing. Shit, I've only gotten to like chapter 3 and chapter 2, and it's banging, man. Some of this shit will blow your mind. And this is kind of one of the things that they mentioned, is that introduction of fear and how that changes evaluations, whether they're evaluations of businesses. I just saw my accountant yesterday. He was telling me they have $1 million evaluation right now of an insurance agency that's getting sold from one to another. They've got $1 million evaluation because there's a very small amount of fear that this is going to go wrong. They have a tremendous amount of confidence that it's going to go right, or else they wouldn't put that kind of a price tag on that type of business. They do it because there's low risk involved. They've looked at the numbers. They've done their due diligence. They've de-risked it. So now they've pulled the element of fear out of that equation for themselves. So now they say, okay, fine. We're confident. There's no fear that we're going to lose money. There's only confidence that we're going to make money, and let's hurry up and do this. These guys are on fire to do it. They've removed that element of fear from the equation, and it's made all the difference in the world. The other mention I wanted to make is of a resource that all you guys are out there see. In general, software's changing the game. Software's been changing the fucking game for years. It's not new. You know, it was
technology.
10 years ago, it was Microsoft, the suite of products. It was some of that where you could do different things in PowerPoint, Excel, and all this in Word, and you could have a OneNote. If you guys aren't using OneNote, by the way, shame on you. OneNote, check it out. So everybody got familiar with this thing, really, in the business world, and that was the big deal. But if you go and you look at John Taffer, or if you go look at Marcos Lemonis, you go look at these guys that go in there and they go into certain industries. John Taffer only does it with bars. No, John Taffer? Mm-mm. John Taffer only does this with bars. He'll go into a struggling bar. And
I know it is.
And he'll rebuild the whole thing.
Yeah.
He'll fix everything, but the number one place he starts is, let's get your software in line. Why? So you can check the metrics of what's working, what's not working. You guys here can see this shit. There's metrics here showing us how we're doing on this damn podcast. Mm-hmm. This right here is saying that we got over 1,800 downloads. I wouldn't know that if I couldn't see any of the metrics. I could tell you how many we did in February. I could tell you how many we've done by episode. It's all there. Why? Because you need the software to be able to track the shit you're doing, whether it's marketing, whether it's managing a business like your DMS software. You guys have to have DMS if you guys are out there being a retail dealer in 2019. If you're not doing that, you're probably doing way too much manually, and it's not working out for you. That's my guess. In 2019, if you're a retail dealer selling more than maybe 2-3 cars a month, you should be at 6 or 7, and this is the reason why you're not, is because you're so focused on managing a lot of this small shit that dealer management software should be doing for you. I just had a meeting with some folks who have VIN and scanning software. All you guys that are at the auction, you guys see these guys and you think they're super fucking high tech because they have their phone and they grab it and they take a picture of the VIN number, and the VIN number pops up that vehicle history. Mm-hmm. In real time. This vehicle, is only going down the auction line, and it's only going to be there for 90 seconds. You've got a short amount of time to assess this vehicle. Should I buy it? Should I not? This is $2,000. This is $8,000. Right? I've got it now to where I'm de-risking this proposition because I know it's never been in an accident. I know a lot of the history behind this vehicle. I know it's only had 2 owners. That's exactly what some of this technology now does for you. And some of you guys are too caught up on the $75 a month price tag or whatever the hell this stuff is, mm-hmm. to where you guys are, no, I can't do it. You guys got to break out of that thinking, because in 2019, my goal is to see that everybody gets some software to operate their retail dealerships. Period, paragraph. You got a wholesale dealership, that might be a little bit different. You got a wholesale operation. You're only selling dealer to dealer. I kind of get it. You're only auto brokering, so you actually don't take custody of any vehicle. You don't buy any vehicles. You don't sell any vehicles. You're only Cupid. You arrange these two to get married, and that's it. You don't marry anybody. Mm-hmm. I get that too. That maybe that's not the need, but everybody else that's out there, you 6,000 or 7,000 retail dealers in the state. You fuckers are way behind. If you guys might as well be operating on fax machines if you guys aren't out there investing in software that's really going to materially help your business grow, offload a lot of the manpower, get you guys selling, because your software is not necessarily going to sell a car for you. It's going to help you manage some of that shit, but you guys have to be out there wheeling and dealing, going out there and not schmoozing and being a pig, but connecting with those people. Your software is not going to connect with people. Your salespeople are going to connect with people. They're going to make promises that they're going to follow through with. Right, those are the things you want them doing. Not sitting here keeping spreadsheets for your business to find out who's got a birthday coming up. Let's send them a thing. Come on, you don't want to send them a birthday card? Invite them into the thing. Send them an email. Tell them, hey, happy birthday. Why don't you come on into our dealership? Why is that happening manually? It's because you fuckers are tight, and that's what and 90% of you guys that are out there and you don't do it. It's not because you don't believe in it. It's because you don't want to spring for it because there's some fear that it's not going to work.
You're pinching pennies and losing dollars, and a lot of people do that. Oh, I don't want to spend here. Well, can I get a discount here? Listen, time is the commodity that you can't bargain with. Okay, so spend the money, lose money, throw money away, because you can always get it back. You can always make money. But what you can't get back is the time that you spend trying to figure out how to major in minor things. And that's what most people do. They major in the things that are irrelevant, that don't matter, that are going to hinder their business. Stop majoring in minor things and go for it. Yes, take risk, but manage them. Take manageable risk. Understand change. The only way that you're going to grow is through change. And those who don't grow are the ones that don't change. If you continue to stay the same as we were 20 years ago, then guess what? Everybody's going to float past you, and you're going to be mad at why you don't know how to use your cell phone or how to use an app that's supposed to help you that everybody else is using that's common knowledge. Stop majoring in minor things. Stop being afraid to expand your mind. You know the best computer in the world is in your head? The best computer that's ever been created is in between your ears. So stop hindering it. Stop slowing it down. Open it up. Get to know. Get to learn. I've learned more in the past 7 years probably than I did in my first 40.
That's true.
Simply because I keep learning. I keep reading. I'm reading 3 books right now. 3 books. He just showed me about a happy pocket full of money. I got so freaking pissed off because I'm like, I got to read another book. But guess what? I'm going to go get it. And I'm going to read that too. Because as mad as I want to be, that's a minor thing. I'm not going to major in the minorness of, okay, it's another book and I don't have time. No, I'm just going to do it. Because I don't have time for that shit. The bigger picture is I need to understand things the way that the most advanced people understand them. And you know how you do that? Reading, learning, educating yourself, getting around people that know more than you on a regular basis. Like every day I'm trying to learn. I need more intel. Fill me up. I want to hang out with Elon Musk. I want to hang out with people that are always, their brain is always expanding. Always. I want it to be hard to keep up. Well, most people get comfortable with whatever they're doing and then just stay there. Right there. And guess what happens in the comfort zone? Nothing ever happens in the comfort zone. So don't get it twisted. You comfortable, you think, oh, I'm making a little bit of money, I'm paying my bills. No, do what you're capable of doing. Do what your potential says that you're capable of doing. And if that means reading 4 books at once, then read 4 books at once and shut the hell up. Because don't nobody want to hear no complaining. And that's what people do. They major in minor things. I don't know if I can do this. Oh, I don't want to get that software. Oh, I don't think I need that to make it easier. Oh, you don't think so? Well, what does the app do? Well, I don't know. Well, how do you know it's not going to make it easier, dumb? Don't be stupid. Because all my clients are my friends. And I tell them, don't be a dumb. Don't be a dumb. Get it. If you don't get it, I told my client, I said, listen, we're either going to go to this new system, you're going to learn it, we're going to do it, you're going to spend 1/3 of the money that you've been spending, or I'm out. Those are your choices. You either learn how to do it better, or you get the hell out of here. I'm done. Because all my clients were doing it the new way. And as I grow, you grow. That's just how I get down. I'm not going to have all these smartnesses and stuff in my head and know what I'm doing and be good at shit. And then you call me up to do everything. No, you got to learn this shit too. Don't think and put it all on me. So stop majoring in minor things. Don't sweat the small shit. Go out there, take risks, manageable risks. Find people, build foundations with people. A healthy dose of fear is good. Don't let it hinder your progress though. Don't let it keep you from doing what you're meant to be doing. I was young, I used to get bullied all the time. They used to whoop my ass. When I say whoop my ass, I'd go outside, they just punch me in the nose. Because they knew I wasn't going to do nothing. I just start crying. Ooh, I'll go to my mom. Get your ass out there. Get your ass whooped. I don't know what's up with black moms, but they don't play that getting beat up, bullied shit. They're like, oh, you gonna stay out there too. She was on the balcony watching me run around the car while the kids is chasing me to beat me up. You better fight them. I'm not fighting shit. Hell no. You better open the goddamn door. That's what I told her. Open the door. She said no. I'm gonna watch you get your ass whooped. I was so mad. So after I got my ass whooped, I go in the house. She opened the door. She ain't even loving or not. I ain't have one of those types of moms. She wasn't loving and all that shit. So why you running from them damn kids? I said, cause I'm afraid they're gonna beat me up. Why don't you hit them back? Cause I'm afraid they're gonna beat me up. The hell didn't you understand about that? Shoot, I'm 9. It's 4 of them. They chasing me. She said, Andre, scared don't stop your hands from moving. That was the most profound statement I think I had ever heard in my life. Scared don't stop your hands from moving. Now, that goes for anything. Scared don't stop you from doing nothing. Yeah, just like the wrestling. Yeah, you might be scared. Do it anyway! Because that's going to drive you. Guess what happened after that? So I go outside. Alright. They crowd us all up. They start picking on me again. I'm like, alright. Guess what? My hands start moving. My hands start moving so quick they wanted to wrestle me. Because I started lighting their ass up. I didn't realize. I was surprised. Oh! Ow! Ow! Ooh! That's all I hear. Ooh! Ah! I'm like smiling. I'm like, ping, ping, ping. Ooh, ping, ooh, ping. I ain't really scared no more. Now, mind you, you got to have a healthy dose of fear. Because now I'm going out there fearless. Now, the big brother, I'm in 3rd, 2nd, 3rd grade. Whooping all the kids in 3rd, 2nd grade. Well, he had a big brother that was in 5th, 6th grade. I thought I could take him. He whooped my ass. So there's a balance you got to have. You got to understand where you stand. Yeah, you're supposed to fear certain things. And you're supposed to be afraid of the things that you're afraid of. But it doesn't stop your hands from moving. Go do it. Because you will surprise yourself over and all my life. Since she told me that statement, fear has not been a factor that has kept me from doing 90% of the things that I do. Whereas if she didn't tell me that, it would probably be the opposite. I'd be afraid of everything my whole life. But instead, I'm just like, hey, step to me and get fucked up. Yeah, I might be scared, but I will beat your ass. Like, that's just my attitude. Step to me and I will sell you. Step to me and I will do this. I will come forward. I will not back in a corner. I will not back up. I will continuously step to you until I win. Until we win. Even if you're against me, I still want us to win. I want to figure out a way for us to win. As a team. I don't care if you're a client. I don't care if you're a friend. I don't care what it is. If you're not winning, I'm not winning. If I'm the only one winning, we ain't winning. You know what I'm saying? So I've got to make sure that you're just as benefiting as I am in this W. So if that means we got to work together to figure it out, because we can't do nothing. Nobody's been successful getting to be millionaires by themselves. No one's does it. It's not possible. You got to take people with you. You got to have a good team. You got to have people that are disciplined, that you can trust, and it's hard to find them. People like that are few and far between, but they're out there. And if you're like that, they're gonna find you, and you're gonna find them, because you attract what you put out. And if you put out greatness, then greatness is what's going to come back.
I love it. Idea of the week. This is something I just got from this book. This is, and I've been hearing this all over the place, and it's getting real clear on exactly what it is that you want. Not just in your own mind, but getting it out on paper, getting it out into a frame, getting it out in whatever way you got to get it out. But getting real clear on those results you're looking for. If you're looking for them in areas of the business, if you've got certain targets you guys are looking to hit, and this is something that I think you guys are better at, some of the sales guys are better at than most, is we're getting real clear on the targets, but also getting clear on what some of those, not just sales and productivity targets are, because there's a professional aspect of this. You know, if the best business salespeople in the world are reading more than a book a week, do you think it'd be prudent for you to at least read a book a month? I don't know, Mike. Not for me. Or at least listen to a book on Audible. I mean, there's some things that don't just have to do with putting a number up on your wall and saying, let's sell 20 cars this month. or let's sell 15, whatever the numbers are, or let's hit certain amount of gross premium, revenue, whatever the fuck you guys call it, doesn't matter. With those kinds of targets, yeah, that's going to happen. But there's another element of what it is that you really want out of the business, and it goes beyond. The numbers are going to support that goal, that vision that you have, but what's really the vision? Getting really clear on what that vision, getting really crystal clear on your vision, I think is going to be, it's the right time of year. Shit, it's not October. This is the time of year. Super Bowl's behind us. You guys got no excuses. You know, we're going to continue to feed you content. But guess what? Part of our goal for the podcast was that we were going to increase some numbers. And the numbers are that we hit over 1,800 podcasts. Downloads of the podcast now total. One more time. Over 625 downloads in January. Another 115 or so just this month, and it's only like the 6th. It's like morning of the 6th, like 11 o'clock in the morning. So we're setting goals, and again, that's not the vision. That's part of what's supporting the vision, and the vision is I'm trying to bring the most value to the used car dealer industry possible. We sell bonds. Your car dealer bond sells bonds. We sell an array of different bonds to a bunch of different dealers that you guys know of. That's our core business. We're also helping our dealers place their insurance. We're also helping our dealers with their dealer management software needs and helping them kind of arrange that piece. We're also helping them with certain parts of building out their brand. So there's some pieces of this that we want to give. And I had a gal I just talked to yesterday. This gal I just talked to yesterday said, shit, I stumbled on your podcast 3 weeks after I got licensed. And son of a bitch, if I would have caught it 2 months before that, you would have saved me hours of fucking around, zigging and zagging. I was so pissed afterwards because they were so frustrated with the DMV's process because they don't give you any help with any of this shit. They just tell you, yeah, go fucking figure it out. It's online. And then you go to somebody's class and for 6 hours they have you quarantined, so they think, oh, well, shit, you know what you need to know after getting out of here? Well, you don't, because it all goes too fast. They're just teaching you how to pass a test. So then how do you actually start the business? Those are the pieces that we're helping a lot of the dealers put together that. They're here. They've taken the leap of faith to know that they're going to go here, but yet they haven't connected the dots on how that's done yet. We've connected the dots 1,000 times, so we help them along that process. Those are some of the things that we provide, and part of the vision is that we're going to provide more and more value this year to the used car dealer industry. We're going to become all things to this industry. There might be a couple things that we don't do, but in general, we're trying to really hit the cornerstones, the pillars, if you will, of what you guys need, and additional education besides your pre-licensing and your continuing education that's mandatory with the DMV. You guys need much more than that. That's also a reason why this is here. So get real clear on what those goals are. Get real clear on what that vision is.